Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Chinese Tier 8 Tech Tree Light Tank, the WZ-132. Now if you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it does really help the channel. And for today's video, this tank is a pretty nice light tank. I do enjoy this tank, even though I don't particularly think it is the best light tank out there. I think it's still a tank that you can have some fun with. Now, it's one of those tanks that is what I would probably call a pseudo-medium tank, where it's a light tank, but to be honest, you're more likely to play it as a stealthy medium tank than you are to play it as a light tank. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's not a tank that you are going to be charging around like a light tank might do, fully active scouting, going YOLO, and getting stuck in brawling with other light tanks. Because it's quite possible that that is not going to go that well for you, because this tank goes at 64 kilometers an hour, which is pretty mobile, right? But you are a really large target, which means that you are really easy to hit, and a lot of the time you will catch shots, and that will not go well for you. As well as the fact that it is also a tinderbox and likes to go up on fire all the time. So you've got to be very careful of that. You can't really active too well in it because of that. And you really have to temper your playstyle. And I say I play it more like a medium tank than I do a light tank, where I will be flanking and spanking, which is what you really want to be doing, but making sure that I'm sort of playing the more peekaboo role, where I'm trying to deal damage and just keep doing exactly what you're seeing here, where every time I'm loaded, get out there, get the damage. Now, the tank has 0.4 base accuracy, which is really not that nice. It's a really troll gun at times. So you just got to contend with the fact that this gun can miss a fair few shots. You've got 2.3 second aim time as well, which doesn't help that. So it's one of those tanks that you can either decide to set up for camo, or you can set up for gun handling. So you either run the camo net or you run the gun stabilizer. It will be down to you. Because, yeah, this tank's more about the gun and using the DPM, realistically, than its ability to scout. And that's because you do have pretty decent camo, and you can get that down to 264 with the second build that I use, which is really good. But you don't have the best view range in the universe compared to a few of the Tier 8 tanks that are going there. Light tanks, right? You know, there's quite a few of the Tier 8 light tanks have 400 meters view range, 410. This has 380, which is definitely on the lower end of the scale. You also have 189 pen on your standard AP, which is definitely, again, a little bit low, but actually, to be honest, that's pretty typical of a lot of the light tanks in Tier 8, because there's quite a few that have, like the Bulldog has 175, the HWK has 180, the Batch Out 12T has 170, the Lynx has 182, the LTTB has 170. So 189 is actually on the high end. It's only beaten by the LHMTV with 226. So 189 is actually pretty nice in terms of that standard pen, but that really does struggle in a Tier 9 battle, and especially in Tier 10 battles, it's not the nicest to use. And then you have 225 penetration on the APCR, which is actually the third best at Tech Tree Tier 8, which is not too bad. And having it as APCR is also an absolute massive bonus, because while it's not that useful over the distance, because you're obviously more likely to lose penetration over distance with an APCR round as opposed to heat, you will be able to use it more often because, well, there's a lot more tanks where you'll be able to shoot them in the side and pen them with APCR where heat might just get absorbed. But you just got to bear in mind that you've got to flank and spank to the max to get the most out of this tank. So what do I run in terms of a crew in the old WZ-132? Well, I use a pretty standard crew for a light tank. I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun. The 3 gun perks, because I want to make sure that this gun is as good as it can be, because, like I say, the gun is really derpy and really troll, and to be honest, like I say, I play it more like a pseudo-medium tank, so I'm doing damage as opposed to doing much else with it, and I'm making sure that this gun will be able to hit those shots. And then the 2 camo perks, because I am still a light tank, and I do like to go light tank scouting sometimes, and thus I want to make sure that if I take those aggressive bush positions sometimes, English, it's hard, bush positions, bush positions, there we go, we got there in the end, bush positions, how many times can I say it, I won't get spotted that well. Oh my lord, that was a terrible aim shot, by the way. Yeah, so I won't get spotted that easily by the enemy team, and I can abuse it as much as possible. And then in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and optics. Now you're seeing the gun stabilizer in this replay, which means the gun handling is at the best it can possibly be. And that's a choice. You can choose between the really annoying gun handling of having a camo net instead of the gun stabilizer, or you can run the camo net and have fantastic camo. Now this replay is using the gun stabilizer. The next replay is using the slightly different setup of having the advanced loader, the camo net, and the optics, and that will help you get that camo down to a good level. And in this first replay, as you're seeing, we're getting YOLO'd by a Dreadnought, which, with 503 hit points, is not conducive to being alive for very much longer. And we unfortunately get shut down by that Dreadnought, but we were in a very top-tier game. We managed to do our damnedest to win the game, and we managed 7 kills, 4.8k damage, Ace Tanker, the Devastator, Top Gun, High Caliber, 1985 base XP. A really nice game there for the WZ-132 in a top-tier matchup. Well, it wasn't the most top-tier matchup in the universe, but you still get the point. We were managing to get by, use the DPM to our advantage, and just keep getting the rounds out. Because 250 Alpha is one of the advantages of this WZ-132. Because 250 Alpha is lovely. Because there is a fair few tanks at this tier that have, we'll go through again. LTTB has 180 Alpha, the Lynx has 240, the Batchat 12T has 170, the HWK has 240, the LHMTV has 230, and the Bulldog has 170. And there's a lot of the premiums as well that have like the 170, 180 damage, as well, which have really fast rate of fires. Whereas this is quite nice to have the 250 Alpha because you hit quite hard. You hit more, like I say, with that medium tank type of damage, and you can just keep whittling people down with that really quite nice damage and really quite nice reload as well, and just get rid of the enemy tanks like that. And it's definitely an advantage for it. And it's a playstyle that you do have to get used to with this line in general, because it's basically the same from the WZ-132-1 to the WZ-132A to the WZ-132, the WZ-131, and the 5916 at Tier 6. Now, the entire line is not that, but it's one of those lines. This Chinese light tank line is one of those lines where you sit there going, it's okay. Is it the most brilliant tech tree line in the universe? I don't think it is. Is it the worst tech tree line in the universe? No, definitely not. It's just a bit meh, really. And it's a way of describing most of the Chinese lights. I do enjoy this tank, though. Let's say this, for me, tier for tier, I think this is the best light tank out of the line. And I do enjoy this one the most. But like I say, is it one that you sit there screaming, you should go down this line right now and experience it? Probably not. But I just enjoy the playstyle of the tank, and I enjoy the tank in general. So yeah, this second replay, is on Thinkball Ridge, and we are using the camo net setup. So with this setup, we do actually have our camo on this tank down to 264 meters of steel concealment, which helps us a lot of the time to get shots off, like at that Scorpion G, and keep ourselves unspotted. And, you know, it's pretty handy for that. And it's something that you definitely, like I say, want to be trying to abuse if you can, is the camo for this tank. Because most of the time, as you've probably already seen in the last two replays, if you get spotted, you get hit. Which, yeah, there's not much avoiding that, sadly. And on Thinkball Ridge, what we've done is we've come to this position here at E9 so that we could try and spot people where the Scorpion G was, see if we could spot the people on top of the hill and get some assistance that way from the people that were sitting at C5, but also that we can do exactly what we're doing now, which is clearing out the enemy team from towards their spawn. Because we knew that a fair few spawn at like K3, K4, and there's quite a few people got spotted attacking up to the 3 line. So what we're now doing is trying to spot for our guys on the hill. And that's what we're doing. We spotted this Centurion up who was near the little abbey thing, and we're just using our camo to our advantage. So we spot the Centurion, we then pull back to the point where he can't really see us anymore, he's going to struggle to see us, and then we fire the shot at him. At this point, though, he has moved quite aggressively forwards, which means that we are getting spotted by him, but we still manage to put the shots in. He does manage to get the RBRT into us and hit us, which, like I say, if people have the ability to shoot this tank, they're most likely going to hit you, which is a sad time. So the Centurion is gone, which is great. So we're just going to wait for, hopefully, to get ourselves to get unspotted. Great driving, me. Great driving. And we're loading the HE. We've seen the Waffle E100. We're going to stick to the back of the K-line as much as humanly possible so that we're limiting his ability to spot us. So you can see we're getting as far away as possible in the hope that he won't spot us. But unfortunately, he still does. That HE shell went miles away, by the way. And that's where this gun, like I say, can be an absolute troll if you don't have the gun stabilizer. Because it does like to miss. If you don't run the gun stabilizer, you have to get used to the fact that this gun will miss its shots. And it can be pretty frustrating in that regard. But yeah, we were spotting that Waffle 100 as well. We've actually managed to get a bit of assistance on him. And we're just, again, taking ourselves into a position where we can hopefully spot the Waffle 100 and keep ourselves in a bush location where he's not going to actually spot us. That means that, naturally, we can use our very good camo to our advantage and try and get rid of this tier 10 tank destroyer, which, oh, unfortunately, we take the blind shot and he either misses or I don't know what happened there, but we do manage to shut down the Waffle E100. So that's a tier 10 tank destroyer down. We're up to 3.1k damage, 2.5k assist. And we're going to go see if we can find anything else that's along the JK12 area that might still be sitting back. We knew there was a tank destroyer over here, and I wasn't sure whether it was the E4 or the 4005. So we're going to take it as wide as possible to make sure that if we are, again, if we're going to spot whatever it is, they're not going to spot us. You can see, there we go, we find the 4005, and we are as far away as you can see. We're reversing up, reversing. We've got to make sure that we are using the camo. I was hoping to be as far away from that guy as possible to make it so that he wouldn't spot us if we got to shoot him, but sadly he did end up spotting us there, which is a very, very sad time. But once we get unspotted, it's like, well, okay then, let's get ourselves back into another spot to try and shoot this 4005 once again if we can, because we want to get rid of this guy. He will delete our friends very, very quickly. Also, he's a very, very easy pen, which means we can farm this guy. So we're trying to go for another shot into the 4005, and unfortunately we're missing. You can see I'm just trying to put myself in a position to keep getting the shots. We miss again. The gun is a little troll. It really is. We try and get the shot on the move at the 4005, but without the gun stabilizer, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, with the setup we've got at the minute, we've got 2.19 accuracy during movement and 1.02 accuracy during rotation of the turret, which is not that great, which does mean that the gun bloom will be pretty damn huge, as you're seeing with this tank. And with 2.3 second aim time as well, like I say, it does feel like it takes a little bit to get aimed in. If you run the gun stabilizer, you get the accuracy during rotation down to 0.81 and the accuracy during movement down to 1.75, which is still not the best, but it's definitely a lot better than what it is without that gun stabilizer. So we've now maneuvered ourselves into a position where we can shoot the E4 in the back end. The 4005 got shut down. Now there's only two tanks left. There is the heavy tank that's getting swarmed at F1 and this Kramvarn. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves into a position to shoot this Kramvarn in the side. Hopefully produce a crossfire. So we get there into the position. The Kramvarn, we know, has fired his clip, but unfortunately we snap the shot and we miss. We're just trying to see if we can get a shot into the Kramvarn around the Death Star, but unfortunately we end up hitting the Death Star, and with the Death Star doing that, we can't actually get a shot into him ourselves. We try and get ourselves into a position where we can get a shot into his side, which we do, and the Type 59-2 shuts down the Kramvarn. And we finished the game with a really nice total there for the Chinese Tier 8 Tech Tree tank. We finished with the 3 kills, 4.5k damage, 2.7k assistance, the Ace Tanker, the 2.2k base XP. A really great game there for the tank in a tier 10 lobby. Like I say, I do enjoy this tank. It's not the best light tank in the universe, but it can be pretty damn enjoyable if you get how to play it. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!